Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 11, Episode 47, overall 597 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Automall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969, and Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show has been sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet now for the last 3 years. Good evening, everybody, on this, I can't believe it's already Monday, Still feels like August weather out there right now. Usually in September, the temps get a little cooler, but it's still warm out there. And I'm excited about my show tonight. My guest, it's her first appearance on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And I met her recently through her TikTok page, and she promotes a lot of great content there as well. And I recommend you following her. And my guest's name is Kim Tran. She is a self-love and manifestation coach. And she's gone from being a part-time owner of a salon to now her own business as well. So we're going to bring on Kim Tran, and we're going to talk a little bit about her coaching career as a self-love and manifestation coach. Good evening, Kim. How are you?
Good. How are you, Chris?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for coming on here tonight.
Well, actually, thank you for having me. I appreciate that. This is a great opportunity, as we talked earlier. I just started, so this is amazing.
And we met through TikTok, which has been a really good tool. If you use it the right way, TikTok is a really good app.
Absolutely. There's so much information on there and so much things you can learn and so many different personalities too, right? It's an interesting app for sure.
So how are things in your part of the province? I think you're from Canada, Ontario?
Yes, I'm from Canada, Ontario, near Toronto. So it's good. You know how it is in Canada, like same old. And I was actually just on live yesterday with some of my followers and stuff, and they're from different parts of Canada as well. And we were actually talking, and they were talking about, just crimes and just all this stuff. I think it's just it's a confusing time for everybody, I think.
Absolutely. And by the way, speaking of Toronto, I'm there usually once or twice a week because I do some freelance media work for the Toronto Argonauts, and I don't drive there because it's crazy driving there. I usually take the GO train, but lately on the weekends they've been doing work on the track, so the GO trains haven't been working as well. So, and the traffic there, I like visiting the city. I just don't know if I could live there full time.
I know. When I was younger, I was like, oh, I would love to live in Toronto because it just seems like such a fun, when you're a little younger, you get to go out there. You just seem like the life is just so glamorous. But as you get older, you're just like, I don't know, driving. And I have friends that live there from here and I still talk to them. Just the commute alone. I'm like, how do you do that? I could not do that. And sometimes I think my cousin, he said he was stuck in traffic for over an hour one time. I was like, no way. No, thank you.
Normally, I live in Guelph, so I'm in the Kitchener-Waterloo Guelph area. So I normally drive to Aldershot and Burlington, which is about a 30, 40-minute drive, depending on traffic. It's not that far, so that takes me 30, 40 minutes. And then the train from Aldershot to Exhibition, normally I get off there where the Argos play, takes a little over an hour. So generally, it's about 2-hour track for me to go from Guelph to Toronto. And I've had friends in Toronto tell me to get around their city sometimes takes 2-3 hours.
That's insane. I know. I've I know people that moved there, and I know people that moved from Toronto to where I live as well. And I think it's a city where you either love it or you hate it. It's something, it's I rare few people I've seen like are in between, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big city, busy.
So Kim, can you tell my audience a little bit about yourself? And I think you mentioned that you were a part owner of a salon as well.
Yeah, I was a co-owner of a beauty salon. I worked in the beauty industry for almost a decade actually, and before that, I went to school for accounting. So it kind of just worked with me opening my own business and starting my own business as well. I opened a salon maybe I think around 2 or 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And during the time in my beauty industry, like just working with my clients, dealing with women, and just being able to like communicate and talk with them really brought out my passion with like just empowering women and like helping them step into their own power and learning their value and just seeing the beauty within themselves, right? More than just skin deep. And I found that it was just a very healing process for not just them, but myself as well. And so over the last year-ish, I started to kind of make the transition into make seeing if it could be something more serious for me and helping women and men as well, empowering themselves and just learn to love themselves a little bit more. I think it's something that we all kind of need in this day and age, right?
100%. And I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you this too. Have
Yeah.
you found in the era nowadays with the internet and social media sites, do you find people's mental health has even suffered more and more?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think with social media, it has been the biggest impact on boys and girls, right? Because I think we are comparing ourselves with very unrealistic standards of for men and for women, right? Men feel like there's this pressure where you need to have all this money, driving luxury cars, doing all these things. And if you're not 20 something and in that, then you're not doing good enough, right? There's that term high value man now and high value women, which I think is so unrealistic. And it's just not everybody's able to get to that, that point in life, right? And on top of that, you're seeing it on social media. Is that even real? You can't trust everything you see online, right? But unfortunately, you get so used to seeing that at a young age nowadays because kids now grow up with social media. Unlike, for me, it was kind of later on in my high school years where I started to see social media and it became a bit more normalized. But I think the kids that are growing up in this day and age and they're so used to social media, like they start to think that the girls that they're seeing online are is the standard, right? They start to see the lifestyle that they're seeing online as the standard. And if you're doing anything below that, you're not good enough. You're not doing anything with life. And it really brings you to this really dark space, of comparison, of self-worth, of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing what I need to be doing. I'm behind in life. And it's a lot of pressure.
Do you find social skills have shrunk, diminished over the years?
Absolutely. And with COVID too, I don't think that helped much either, right? And I actually had this conversation with a lot of my clients because my clients are always like, "Kim, you're so young, but like, the way I talk and just how I am," they get really surprised because they compare themselves with, their nieces, their nephews, they're just younger, And I'm like, well, the generation now, we're so used to communicating through a phone or through a computer screen. We don't really sit and talk face to face anymore. In fact, I think a lot of people have mm, s- social anxiety now, especially with COVID and stuff, right? People aren't used to seeing other people. And in fact, when I go outside and I see a group of boys or a group of girls just hanging out, half of them are on the phone, not even talking to one another. I'm like, what are you guys doing? You should talk to people face to face. It's a skill for sure.
I was born in the 70s, so I'm 53. And back in the 70s and 80s, our social media was TV set, telephone, or actually going to see her friends and playing street hockey, baseball,
Yeah.
football, basketball, and stuff like that. It was a different time.
And I think that was the healthier time, to be honest with you. I think that's absolutely healthy. And I think that it teaches kids to be kids and allows kids to be kids. And it teaches you social skills, how to deal with different people. And even, I think today, the day and age, we can really go into this if we want to, but it doesn't really I don't think it really sets up the younger generation to be able to adapt with, different people, right? And like being able to really hone in and work on their social skills and their ability to just put themselves out there and learn to adapt to their environment. You know what I'm saying? It's very much like people are more comfortable talking behind a screen than being able to put themselves in an environment and just learn to just adapt, right? It's a skill.
Absolutely. In 6 years, I've done about 1,300 interviews. Obviously, I've done over 600 virtually, and I
Yeah.
love doing this virtually. But the
Mhm.
last couple years, I've been doing a lot of in-person interviews. And
Oh,
as much
okay.
as I love doing this show virtually for now, I love doing the in-person interviews. Like when I'm in the Argos locker room or at a baseball park and I'm interviewing players, coaches, and stuff like that. There's nothing better than in-person communication.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I'm the type of person, I don't believe this is well, obviously this is we're communicating, but I don't think it really it doesn't give the same experience as being able to see somebody in person and looking them straight in the eye and being able to talk to them, because that's a level of like intimacy, I guess if you want to call it that, connection, that really allows you to just really connect with somebody on a level that you can't over a screen, right? And I think that's what we're lacking a lot in society now, and I think that leads to depression, mental health issues, because nobody's truly connecting with anybody anymore, right? And even when you go to the grocery store now, most of the time you're doing it through the self checkout lines now, right? The kiosk. You really don't get a lot of opportunities if you don't want to, right? If you really aren't about it, but you don't really get a lot of time to connect with people anymore. There's really no true connection, and really there's not a lot of opportunities for you to go out there and meet new people and connect with people and make new connections and friends and stuff, especially when you're older too. I find it gets harder. So, yeah,
The human element has been taken out of it, and the human
absolutely.
element has been
That's a
taken
great way
out
to
of
say
it, and also due to self checkouts. And
it.
also, I
Mhm.
wanted to get your thoughts since I have you on here tonight, Kim, about AI too. AI is changing a lot of things, and I even see AI robots in Toronto now, where people can
Oh,
date a robot.
that's scary, right? I've seen that in like online ChatGPT. Even I was in Texas to visit my friend actually, and it's not really AI, but it's the Tesla cars. The what are they called? The self-driving cars and stuff like that now. Technology is just insane. I'm sorry, but AI in itself too, like see, there's this thing now, they say AI is taking over social media, right? People are saying that, oh, a lot of things, because you can go onto ChatGPT, type in what type of person you want, and it'll create a whole avatar or a person that looks like a human person. You can create entire channels and pages of just AI content, which is insane, very cool, but also insane. And it's scary because there's a sense that it's overtaking the world. But, with AI though, and the one difference with people and AI is the personality, right? The way we talk, the way we when you're an actual person, you have more personality and depth behind it than AI, I believe, anyways, right? AI is what's it called? How do we say this? It's generated, computer generated. So there's a sense of fakeness there, I guess you can say. Whereas a person, you can't fake that, right?
Totally agree, Kim. And then nowadays you can date from your own phone as well on apps. And I miss the days of phone calls. I know 90% of the time I get contacted on my phone is
Yeah.
through emails or text messages and stuff like that. But I just find nobody likes the phone anymore. And you can't
Mhm.
really tell how somebody is through an email or a text message.
Yes, and I had this conversation on one of my videos on YouTube, how I think that, people on the phone when you're texting somebody or when you're calling somebody or whatever, right? Like you can literally have ChatGPT open next to you, have it curate all your responses, your whole entire personality, everything you're going to say, and you just text it based on that. That is so frightening to me, but you can't do that when you're sitting face to face with somebody and you're forced to have to respond to in that moment, right? What you're saying, how you act, you can't fake that. I mean, unless you're really good at it. I mean, I know people that are, but it's more genuine in that way, and you know who you're connecting with, you know who you're talking to. And, don't you wanna do that? Especially if you're dating somebody or you're seeing somebody, right? I think it's really important.
Completely.
Mhm.
Completely agree. Kim, I've got a viewer watching. He was on my show on Friday night. His name is Edward Hearn. He's a professional motorcyclist in LA, and he was also
Mhm.
in the US military for 20 years. He wanted to say hi to you and just said, "Hey Kim, you look amazing."
Thank you, Edward. That's so sweet. Makes me
And
feel
that's
good.
And that's what I love about this show too is connect guests with other guests and get them on their shows as well. And it's storytelling. I love the
Love it.
storytelling aspect of this and learning from each guest. Every guest is unique that comes on this show.
Of course, and I think that's what makes people so amazing, right? Like, even when like I said, when I was in the beauty industry and having all these different women's come into, like, my to do a service with me, I have people from all walks of life, and just the conversations that we have, you never get bored because 'cause you're always learning something new, you're always talking to somebody new, you're just you know what I mean? It's just it never makes it feel like any day is the same. It's an amazing experience, and I miss that a lot, actually, with my clients. You build some lifelong relationships with like that too. Like, a lot of my clients end up becoming my friends. They invite me to, like, their, weddings, parties, like, just they treat me like family over time, and, I'm very appreciative of my clients and just the years that I was in the beauty industry. It was a great experience for me. Mhm.
And what caught my attention with you was how you presented yourself on your TikTok videos, and I could relate to most of your posts, and that's when I
Yes.
approached you as well. So first impressions are huge, especially on social
Absolutely.
media.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I want
Absolutely.
to ask. Go ahead, Kim. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, first impression is also a skill as well. It's something that a lot of people because some people have a hard time, like I said, right, being able to be put into an environment and just learn to adapt and be able to present themselves in a way that, you can connect with people. And a lot of times people have a hard time with that because a lot of times people need time to kind of get comfortable and then ease into it. But that gives off not exactly the best first impression a lot of times for some people. So even though they're great people, but with the industry that I work in, you have to have a good impression.
In your opinion, do you find first impressions that skill has diminished too over time?
I think so. Like, I think in general, anything that has to do with communication, like this, or just, being forced to think on the spot, to act, to just, I think it has very much diminished because people don't really customer service skills and um, like, or, there's a lot of interviews, for example, how the first example I can think of, there's interviews where people force you to go into a room with other candidates that you don't know about, right? And they watch how you interact with those candidates. It's a way for you to learn how their first impressions, what's your characteristics, your traits. How do you talk to people? Do you know how to talk to people? Are you a team player? Things like that. But I find that all of that is lacking now because everybody's used to being individualistic by themselves on a computer, on a phone, doing everything by themselves. It's a very, like I said, it's a very individualistic society that we live in now, right? There's not a lot of connection, not a lot of personalized, like people aren't getting to know truly who the other person is. So it's sad.
Kim, before I get to Edward's next question he has for you, I wanted to ask you this too. Being in the beauty industry for over a decade, do you find that experience helped you with your coaching career? And also, tell our audience some of the stereotypes still going on in the beauty industry these days.
Stereotypes, eh? Actually, to be honest with you, I don't really follow I guess you can say, well, do you want stereotypes in terms of what? Like the clients or the standards, the beauty
Just the
standards?
standards, yeah, the
Or
standards.
the beauty standards, eh? Well, I mean, if you want to look at the stereotypes and the beauty standards, all you got to do is search up the Kardashians because I feel like they're the standard now, right, for the beauty industry. Um, but I think a lot of times now, I think we are veering away a little bit more from for myself anyways, because I think everybody has a different experience because geographic and all of that makes a big difference. But I find that where I'm at, a lot of people prefer a more natural kind of look now, actually, which is surprising to me because we really went from a more extreme to, I think now, like the clean girl aesthetic is what they call it, right? More of a everyday glowy kind of vibe is what a lot of people like to look now, which I think it's a very good change, to be honest. And a lot of people are really truly trying to step into embracing more of their natural beauty. And I love seeing that, especially with the younger generation, right? It's a good change. And you did ask me something else
Edward
before.
Hearn.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Before we get to Edward's question,
yeah.
obviously the stereotypes of the beauty industry, but how much that did that experience kind of help you with your coaching career and also as an entrepreneur being
Mhm.
in accounting as well?
Yeah. So I think honestly, it's everything kind of, I got really lucky with my experience in life. I think everything just kind of flowed one into each other because I went to school for actually even before that. Okay. For, I don't know what your demographic is for the people that watch you. But even before accounting, I actually worked at McDonald's. So I think we need to start with that because
Okay,
that was years and years ago. But I was a manager there. But that really honed my skill in communication because I had to learn to, because I used to be really shy, Chris. I used to be super
really?
shy. Yes. And this is why my experience, that's why I'm really passionate about self-love and, like, building confidence and stuff like that too, because I was not a confident person. I grew up in a family where you were criticized more than you were kinda uplifted. It's in the culture in itself more than just my parents, right? And so I had to kinda learn to put myself out there and really practice and hone my, like, communication skills, my, ability for, first impressions. All of these things are skills that you have to develop and really get comfortable and, like, work on over the years, right? And working at McDonald's, even though everyone's like, "Oh, it's McDonald's," but I will tell you, anybody out there, especially if you know anybody in the younger generation, it is an amazing first job to do. It teaches you so many skills, teaches you responsibility, and it really helps you with your communication skills. And I think that that's McDonald's and being a manager and having to deal with clients, complaints, and just clients and just my crew and stuff and being able to communicate with them helped me in my communication. And then accounting obviously helped me with building the business aspect of it and how to run the business, the books, and my budgeting, all of that stuff, inventory. And then so that kind of went together really well when I started my first stepped into like the beauty industry and doing lashes and just able to kind of communicate with clients and put myself out there to promote myself, to find clients and to be able to connect with clients. Because I think now in this beauty industry, it's a very overly saturated industry. There's a lot of people doing beauty like services, right? So I think one of the biggest ways to differentiate yourself and to make yourself stand out is connecting with your clients and truly making them feel like they're talking to a friend rather than going to a service. And I think that's what makes the experience worthwhile for a lot of my clients. So with all of that coming together, it really kind of made the bigger picture for me to go into doing life coaching, right? Because I think that's what it all is, connecting with your clients, making them feel comfortable, making them feel like, "I'm here for you, I'm not judging you, I truly wanna help you on your journey. I'm I'm not just here to take your money." I want you to see you do well. So I think it's a good place. Yeah.
McDonald's is a fast-paced environment too, and you had to probably learn to think on your feet
Yeah.
as well as communicate. But one skill that I think is still not working these days is listening
I
skills,
think
and that's
Mhm,
something I've learned how to do from other job security for 23 years. And I'm going to tell you this too. If you
mhm.
told me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or when I was like in elementary school that I'd be a public speaker and on air, I would have laughed at you because I was very shy and I was always the last student in school, in high school and college to speak in front of people. So I've
I
reinvented myself later in life and I can reinvent myself. Other people can do it as well.
Absolutely. I'm a huge believer of that, and I think that to be honest with you, I think a lot of people don't really realize that it takes work, right? But you can be whoever you want to be. And I always say this, your whole life, who you are as a person is created from tiny little choices you make every single day, right? They build up on top of one another to create the life that you're living and the person that you are today. So if that's the case, if we were more intentional with our choices, can't you just change one choice every day? Over 365 days, how big of an impact would that be, right? And it doesn't have to be big. It just has to be a small choice every day, like waking up 1 minute earlier, right? And until you meet your time that you want to wake up at, and just keep it there. Be consistent with that. And slowly that little change will manifest itself into creating the life that you want or the person that you want. Change doesn't have to be hard. It could be a very easy process if you make it. But a lot of people don't know how to do that, or they don't see the picture, and that's kind of what I want to help people with, right? Creating that picture for them and setting the goals for them and helping them ease into the change, because it's a difficult thing, but it's definitely doable. Mhm.
Oh, I absolutely, and I can relate. In my last career, the last few years, I wasn't happy there, and I was complacent. And I tell people, if you're in a career and you're only staying for the money, it's probably time to move on. And in any career, as soon as you get complacent, it's probably time to move on. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, Kim, too, about
Yes.
mindset and belief. When you switch careers or become an
Mhm.
entrepreneur or business owner, you're going to have people that are going to support you and encourage you, but you're going to have people that also belittle you and put you down and tell you
Absolutely.
you can't do it. And I've been told I'm too old. I don't have the education for broadcast journalism to do this, and I keep proving them wrong. And mindset is huge in whatever career you're in.
Absolutely. And I think that mindset is the so I think people don't realize this too, but your mind creates the world you live in, right? Our mind is what allows us to go out there and do what we do. It makes our decisions, our choices, our fears, our, what we like, what we don't like. It all stems from here. But what people don't, a lot of people now, especially this day and age in this generation, and I've gotten to meet a lot of people, like, I don't think they're very much aware of what's going on up here or the thoughts, or, I think it takes a level of self awareness for you to be able to really realize what your thoughts are. Like today, I made a post today about your thoughts create your reality, right? So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, if your thoughts automatically go to, oh, I can't do that, then yeah, you can't do it because you're already telling yourself you can't do it, right? But if you get to realize, oh, I just said I can't do that. No, we need to switch that to make it a more positive mindset, right? I can do it. Maybe I can't do exactly like go right in right now, but I can do it with little steps, setting little goals so that I can do it in 2 months, right? 3 months. That mindset shift right there will changes it from I can't do it at all to okay, maybe I can't do it exactly right now, but I can do it in 2 months. Let's just sit down. Let's set these goals. Let's set like benchmarks for ourselves so that in 2 months times, 3 months time, we can do it. You know what I'm saying? And like even things like people say like, "Oh, I wish I could be like that person." Well, why do you have to wish like you have to be that person? Instead say, "I what do I need to do to be like that person?" Right there. That mindset shift, just even that thought process in that your mind right there changes the whole way the whole your whole reality, right? Because it's going from I can't do it, I can't be like that to no, I can do it. Okay, so what do I need to do to be like that? And that right there, you're changing your brain, you're rewiring your brain to tell yourself that I can do it. It just takes a little bit of work, but yeah, it's possible for me. It's not impossible anymore. And I think but it takes awareness, right? And it takes self-awareness to be able to check those thought processes and to be able to be aware of where your thoughts are, to slowly over time start to change it and be able to become a more positive person. Yeah,
One thing I wanted to mention too is any career, stop playing small. Don't play small.
absolutely. Absolutely. You have to truly believe that you are capable before you can convince other people that you're capable, right? Because if you don't even believe that you can do it, why should other people believe that you can do it? And with any industry, any career change, and you probably felt this way too, Chris. So props to you, but you get a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? That's what they call it. Like you in the beginning stages, you feel like you don't belong in there too because you're switching careers and it just feels like, oh my gosh, it feels a little odd, right? Like for me, for example, jumping from the beauty industry all the way to being more like wellness and personal development was a huge shift for me. And I had to learn, but that's where you have to learn to self-validate yourself. You have to learn as you have to remind yourself, okay, why am I doing this, right? What's my purpose for doing this? And if it's something that you're truly passionate about, it doesn't matter what other people are telling you because you're doing it for you and you believe that you belong here. You believe that you can do it. So who cares what other people think? Show up, do you, and show other people that they're wrong about you. And the next thing you know, there can be, oh, like, people will put you down until they see that you're winning. It's just what it is. And unfortunately, that's what makes it so difficult for a lot of people to succeed nowadays because we live in a society where a lot of people seek validation from the outside, right? So if somebody says, oh, you can't do it, then they think, oh, I can't do it then. But that's why self-love and self-confidence and all of that stuff is so important now because you need to know who you are. You need to know what you want to do, your goals are, your purpose, so that you don't let other people influence you because this is your life. Why are you living it based on what other people think you can and cannot do? Like that makes no sense to me. But yeah, that's just my thought.
Thoughts on belittling? Do you find that has increased over the years with the internet and social media as well and the apps?
Um, yeah, I mean, like online bullying, I guess you can say probably, but I think bullying, belittling, in general is a very common thing, especially with women. Women deal with that a lot. I don't know about men, right? I can only speak on women, I guess, because it's from my own perspective of what I see. But I think comparison, right, it's where it stems from, right? Comparison and just um the need to feel validated in a lot of ways with women. That's where I see it with. And yeah, I guess social media, like what we talked about earlier, the comparison with what you see online, right? And what other people. But again, that's why I always say it's so important for us to just love ourselves. Just know who you are so you don't feel the need to go out there and put other people down to make yourself feel better, right? It's not a, it doesn't make me feel good. Like I remember for me, like one of my why self-love is so important for me too is because I remember being jealous of a really good friend of mine. Like just she's my childhood friend and she got her first boyfriend and I remember being so jealous that I was belittling her. Being I was being mean to her. And I remember she sat me down and she's like, Kim, like, what's going on? Like, why are you treating, like, did I do something? And in that moment, I had a huge reality check. I was like, Kim, why are you acting this way? Because I didn't feel good about the way that I was treating my friend, right? It doesn't make me feel comfortable knowing that I'm hurting the person that I love so deeply because she has a boyfriend. Like, Kim, that's a you problem. What are you doing right now? So that she really helped me really reflect a lot on where I was at that time. And this was like back in high school, like I was young, but I'm so grateful for her to sit me down and have that conversation with me and really brought me back to reality to know that Kim, you don't have to be like this. You don't have to be somebody that's so hateful and negative and feel the need to belittle other people because you're not happy with yourself, right? So she really helped me really step into my journey of really just loving myself more and seeing my value. It's really important.
Kim, I saw one of your posts today on TikTok, and it hits home too. I believe it was about jealousy, and
Mhm.
we all can say, "No, I'm not jealous of people," but I think every one of us has it in us to be jealous or envious of somebody.
Absolutely.
What are some tips from your experience that you just mentioned that could help people that are watching this live stream or listening it on
Yeah.
audio
Um,
after?
For sure. So with jealousy, I think it's such a normal human experience to be jealous or envious or comparing yourself with other people, right? We're only human and we have emotions. And I think it's really important for us to really acknowledge these emotions because if you don't, it really gets very dangerous. But acknowledge it, accept it. You're human, you're jealous. That's okay. What that emotion is basically telling you is that you want what that person has, right? So let's say you see your friend got a new car. Their car is super nice. You're like, wow, and you compare it with your car and you get jealous, right? Oh, I wish I could have that car. But that again, that mindset shift that you have to have, right? It's not that you can't have that car. You can have that car. And you're jealous because you want a nicer car. So now you have to sit with yourself and you have to ask yourself, okay, where am I at right now? where's the gap? What do I need to do for me to be able to attain that car or even a better car than that, right? So that means you need to make more money. You have to start a side hustle, get a new job, get a promotion, whatever it may be, right? But it's about recognizing that instead of putting it other people down, is recognizing that, you know what, maybe there's something that I can do. Maybe I do need to get a better job. Maybe it's time for me to, get a degree, upgrade my degree, get a promotion, apply, do a side hustle, because I want to have a better life, and I know I can have a better life. I know I can have a nicer car, a bigger house, whatever it may be, right? And I think we can use the emotions of jealousy, envy, comparison, whatever it may be, as a way to empower ourselves to grow, to become a better version of ourselves, rather than using it as a projection to put other people down, right? So whenever I feel jealous, and over time, if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really get jealous of people anymore because I've been there. I recognize the emotions, and I focus now more on my own journey than like focusing on comparing myself with other people's journey. Because the reality is, right? Let's be honest. Let's say I did get that car that that person has. Oh, it doesn't feel as comfortable as my old car. I miss the seats of my old car. You know what I mean? You might not even like that car that that person has. You just like the look of it because that person's driving it. But when you're really sitting in that car, will you even like it? You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's like keeping up with the Joneses, but just because in like comparing with like kids and jobs and all this stuff, will you actually like it if you had that husband, for example, those kids, for example, that job, for example? Will you be happy? And I think that's what I started asking myself, like, so I stopped comparing myself and stopped feeling jealous, because I'm happy for people, because you know what, good for you, because like you're on your journey. Why do I have to compete with you, right? This is my life, is my own journey. Like, we're two separate things. And just because one person's winning doesn't mean the other person's not winning either. We don't need to be competing. We don't need to be jealous. But it's a journey, like I said. It's all about mindset shifting and slowly reprogramming your mind to be able to see the world in that way, right? To see yourself in that way, and to truly just love yourself so you can enjoy your experience of life, rather than feeling the need to sit here and compare yourself to someone else's experience. It takes away from your life and your joy.
Kim, gotta ask you a couple questions here too. I've learned to ad lib and think on my feet. Have you thought about writing a book in the future? And as a self love and manifestation coach, are you certified,
So for self love and
or how does
manifestation.
that process work?
Oh, sorry. So you don't have to get certified in Canada, because we're not a therapist, a psychologist, or anything like that. It's more so experience based, based on your own experience, and like people that connect with the way you view things, the way you live your life, and people you sit down and you coach them, because it's more like you're coaching people, or you're helping people set goals and stuff. But there are certain certifications that you can apply and get, and I did apply earlier this year for a certification. But and it teaches you more so like how to run workshops, how to do these little things here and there. But in terms of the actual coaching process of it, it's based on your own experience more so than anything, because we're the difference with a life coach and like a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that, for example, is we're future based, not the past, right? So we don't diagnose people, we don't go into mental health issues like that. I'm not my scope, I can't do that. It's more so about how to set goals and how to manifest the life you want, the person that you want to be, stuff like that. So that's what, so you don't technically need to be certified, because life is my certification. And in terms of writing a book, I do like writing. It's funny that you said this, because somebody asked me this yesterday in my live too. Someone said like I should do a podcast or an ebook or something. I would love to do that one day. Yeah. I would love to do that one day. But one thing at a time, right? Like I believe in, again, setting goals for myself and setting little benchmarks and things, because you'll get overwhelmed if you want to do everything all at once, right? I want to get good and really comfortable at one thing first, feeling really confident and steady and like know what I'm doing before I branch off and do other things down the road. So, but definitely, definitely down the road, ebook, maybe podcast soon, but we'll see about that. Yeah. Do you think I'll have potential?
Absolutely. And if you ever Yes, you do, and if you ever decide to get into podcasting, feel free to ask me because I had people 6 years ago
Mhm.
help me. They gave me some advice and gave me some tips, and I wanna pay it forward to other people, so anyone that's new to this or the radio industry, if I can be assistance, I'd like to pay it forward.
Oh, I love that. I will definitely I will message you, Chris, because I think it's one of my goals that I've had for a really long time now, especially a lot of my clients, because all they do is they hear my voice, right? Especially when I'm doing lashes and stuff, they have their eyes closed and they're just listening to my voice. And over the years of just talking to them and coaching them in that aspect, they're like, "Kim, you should do a podcast." Years and years now, my clients have been telling me. So that's what also pushed me into this kind of industry, and also, like, starting my TikTok and doing all of that stuff. My clients have been a huge, huge support system for me. It's crazy.
By the way, Kim, is this your first live podcast that you've been on?
Yes, it is. And, yesterday was actually my first live. I went on live on TikTok for the first time yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I was sweating and I was n
Awesome.
so scared. I was
Why?
I was I'm sorry?
Just be yourself, like but you know what? When I started this 6 years ago, I was scared,
Yeah,
I was nervous, and I wasn't very good, but you gotta just the more you do of it, Kim, the more reps,
you
the
get
more comfortable you'll get.
Absolutely. It's all about practice, right? So I literally had notes written down of what I wanted to talk about. I was like, hey, Kim, you're going to go on there. Even if there's nobody on, you're going to talk, just talk. But some people came on afterwards, and then we got distracted and then we started asking each other where everybody's from. And then we had a little battle. I don't know. It just got a little bit crazy yesterday, but it was fun. I was like, thank you for being on here. So I'm not talking to myself, but I think I definitely some that's my next challenge, Chris, is going live and getting more comfortable with talking to people. My another one of my biggest things is I always say fear is nothing more than an invitation for growth. So if something scares you, it means that you need to tackle that. You need to face it head on and just go in and do it. Then you just that's how you grow and you become better and you become stronger, and over time it just becomes nothing, I love change. I love tackling things like that, so you're gonna do it.
Step step out of your comfort zone, and you wanna continue to grow and not
Absolutely.
shrink. You don't wanna shrink, you wanna
Absolutely.
grow.
I say life can be short or it can be long. It's based on what you make of it, right? And for me, one of the biggest things is I met so many people that are so fearful of death, and I think it's normal for us to fear death, right? But it's an unfortunate, and I know this is getting really deep, but it's a reality that we all have to face, that that's where we're gonna be one day, but we just don't know when that's gonna be. It could be today or tomorrow. I say I could go out there tomorrow and, like, God knows, right? But the one thing that I don't want is to look at death and be like, "Wow, I regret not living my life and doing the things I wanna do." You know what I mean? I wanna be able to sit and be like, "You know what? I did the best. I lived my life. I did the best I could, and it is what it is," you know? I think that's what's important. Mhm.
And that's what I've done the last 6 years, and I've gotten freelance media opportunities with the National Football League, the Canadian Football League, the Canadian Baseball
Absolutely.
Hall of Fame, the Toronto Blue Jays farm team, and at first I was like, I don't belong here or whatever, but these teams and people and guests like yourself have taken me in and made me feel like a part of the team. And this is what I want to do. I'm making less money than when I was doing my other career, but
It's
I'm a lot happier and my mental health is a lot better too.
Absolutely, Chris, and I think that's what matters, right? It's not about the money. I say we live in a world where, we're so hyper focused on the material things, but so what? I find that some of the people I've met, like, with all this money in the world, so miserable, so unhappy, and they're so depressed, and they're sitting in wealth with all this money around them, not knowing what to spend their money on, to the point of, like, and so lonely. You know what I'm saying? So sad, and it's just like, is that how you wanna live your life? Like, you get one chance at life, and you wanna live it, like, just slaving away for the paper without any sort of purpose or direction and happiness or joy? Like, I think you can have both. I believe that we can have both, especially if you're walking in your purpose and you're walking in what it is that your heart, your soul is calling you to do. That's what you're meant to be doing. So why would you not be rewarded with the material gains with that too? I don't believe that that's there. You know what I mean? I think both can be there. It's just a matter, a lot of times people are scared, fearful of chasing their dreams because a lot of times it's unknown, right? So people prefer to chase what's comfortable, which is, the corporate job, the 9 to 5, which is nothing wrong with that.
Compla
I did that.
Complacency. Yeah,
Exactly. Nothing wrong with
I can
that.
relate. Yeah. Edward Hearn has another question for you. And Edward, I want to say thank you. He's
Mm,
become a friend of mine, and he was on my show a few days ago talking about his motorcycle military career. He wants
mm.
to ask you, Kim, have you had any military clients that are having trouble separating from the military and try to get back into civilian life so far as a coach?
So I haven't had any clients like that, but actually my one of my past relationships, he was actually he was in the military. He's American, but he was in the military actually. And yeah, I know that it's a it's a big change to jump from that to back to, adapting into civilian life and learning how to be, comfortable with everybody again. But I mean, how long has he been in the military for? I think that makes a huge difference as well, right? But I think at the end of the day, I think it comes down to taking again small steps, right? Staying slowly adapting and getting out of your comfort zone a little bit at a time at a pace where you feel comfortable, and also with the support system that you need to be able to help you, because I'm sure there's a lot of mental, adjustments that need to go on there with everything that you see in the military and stuff like that. You definitely need a strong support system behind you to be able to help you, work through all of that and everything that you've seen in the military. So it's about being compassionate with yourself, being kind with yourself, and being patient with yourself, and surrounding yourself with people that understand that your journey and being able to provide you with the emotional and support that you need during that change. I think those are really important things that you would need.
Great question by Edward Hearn. And I want to say thank you to Edward. And Kim, are you
Yeah,
still good for time? A little more time and a few more questions?
absolutely. Yeah, we should be good.
Okay.
And
And
thank you for
anyone
asking.
that's okay, you're very welcome. And anyone that's watching the show live stream right now, if you have any questions or comments for Kim or myself, please do so now as well. And Kim, I wanted to ask you this as well. How would you describe yourself as a coach? How would you describe yourself as a coach and the in your coaching style?
Mm. I think I'd say I'm somebody that see, I like to connect with people. I want to see my clients as like a friend, right? Rather than a client, because I think it takes away. I want it to be more personable. With like even when the beauty industry too, like I said, I want it to be an experience where you're like hanging out with a friend, where you're talking to somebody that you can trust and you know that they're there for you and to truly help you, rather than just be something so like I'm here to just take your money, right? I My coaching style, I'd say, would be more like yeah, like I guess more friend adaptive based on the person, because I also understand that everybody's different. And with change, right, to create long-term change in your life, you have to be committed to it. It's not something that I can sit here and force it down somebody's throat. We can make plans, we can make goals, we can make, do all these big preparation things, but life happens, you happen, and it takes us to adapt and to work with it and to be compassionate and kind to ourselves and understand that this is a journey, not a race. And for us to really sit down and look at our goals again and say, hey, you know what, maybe these goals were a little unrealistic, maybe they were too much. Let's regroup and let's make our goals again, maybe break them down even more. Let's set a better timeline for ourselves, right? It's about helping my clients ease into the process for themselves, learning how to be compassionate with themselves, learning how to be kind with themselves, and understand that this is a journey and it's ups and downs. It's not going to be linear. And we need to learn how to be able to just be like, you know what, it's okay. We didn't meet the goals that we had set for ourselves, but that doesn't mean we're done. We just give up or whatever. No, it's about sitting down again and regrouping and revisiting our goals and making better goals that are more suited for us, because we're learning as we go. It's not like you know what I mean, a one track thing, right? So I guess more so working with my clients, being their helper rather than being their, like I said, it's just about every client, just adapting to them.
Kim, for those people that are thinking about getting a self love manifestation coach, what are some signs of finding a good coach? And your sessions, are they all virtual sessions or do you do some in person sessions as well with your clientele?
So yeah, so right now all my sessions are online, just because I think it would work best because everybody is in different places in the world, right? I want to be able to connect with people that truly want to start this journey, and I find that it's hard to just put it in one place because it could be anywhere in the world, right? And um, sorry, you asked another question before that. I just lost track of it.
It happens too. I write everything down. Just
See, I need to do that because I'm just like, wait a minute, why did you ask me two questions?
I always have a pen and piece of paper happen. Just so I guess the other question was signs of finding a good coach, making sure you have the right coach for your needs.
Yes, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. I think, see, with a life coach, like a therapist or any sort of, you want to make sure you align with who that person is, how they live their life, how they think, right? Who they are as a person. And you want to make sure you can find somebody that you're truly comfortable with, somebody that you think that, oh, you know what? I think this person, I can really connect with them and they can really, their personality, the way they talk, the way they see the world, their views. Like I think I could really adapt with that and I could connect with that. Because I think that's what's really important, right? With any therapist or a psychologist or like coaching or anything like that, anything that you're spending money on, it's essentially you want to make sure you're getting something that you want out of it, right? That they're able to give you what you want out of it. And it's about just vetting it and just seeing, their content. And that's why we have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of that stuff, because that's how you know if this person's right for you or not with based on the content that they're putting out and the way they see the world, right? Everybody's different.
On average, how long is an average session that you do virtually with your clientele?
So, my sessions are an hour long typically. And it's based on the packages that they choose. It could be 3 months for 9 sessions. And the sessions are placed again based on my clients, right? So it's just more so about making sure that my clients feel comfortable during the whole process and that they're not being forced or pushed or rushed into anything. Change takes time and you can't really put a timeline on that, right? And so, but I just want to be there for my clients in the best way possible. And help them through their journey. I guess that's just what it is, but the sessions are an hour long, and I always recommend a 1 hour free consultation first so we can really sit and get to talk, right? I want to get to know what my clients goals are, like what where you want to work on, because everybody's different, and really see if because I might not be the right person for that. I might not have a lot of experience in that way, because I don't want to just take people's money and not give them the results, and my clients would not be happy either. I truly want people to really be able to really learn to love themselves and see themselves in the way and just get what they want out of it. So that's why I think it's really important for you to sit down with the coach, whatever coach it is, and just really talk to them and get to know if they're the right person for you or not. And yeah,
How satisfying that? Go ahead.
I do work with men. I would work with men as well because I think everybody needs self-love. Everybody needs confidence, right? As honestly, in my opinion, especially men nowadays too, right? Like the world we live in, everybody can use it.
It really helps to talk to somebody from outside your inner circle to give you a
Absolutely.
different perspective, and listening is huge too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that for men, if I'm going to be honest with you too, men are very much, from my experience, okay, they're when they hear therapy, they're like, oh, no, I won't do therapy. They're very against therapy, right? Which I get it, the ego speaks. It's just fine. But I find that with life coaching, it sounds a little bit less clinical and like scary than therapy. And of course, with life coaching too, we're not doing therapy. Like I'm not talking to you about your traumas and all of this stuff. It's more action based, right? Which I think is more aligned with men in terms of like actually doing things rather than sitting down and like, working through certain things. Just my own experience, right? But I find that it's useful for everybody.
Being a business owner and an entrepreneur, Kim,
Mm.
how important is it to brand and market yourself as well, especially on social media?
I think it's the most important thing. People buy the brand, which is you, right? Right before they I think your brand creates the product. Like, a lot of times it's always been like that for ever and ever. Certain brands like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, for example, right? You see red and white, you think Coca-Cola. That's the branding, right? And that's with people, with coaching, with everything in social media. You have to create your own brand, and it's just how the world works. It is what it is. It's important.
Kim, if you still got some time, I would like to play a little clip of yours from your YouTube channel, Kim Tran on YouTube. I've subscribed, so everybody please look for Kim Tran on YouTube. Subscribe, share, and like. And I just wanted to play a little video from your YouTube channel. And is that okay to play it?
Absolutely, absolutely. That was my old salon.
Okay, and it's called Feeling Lost or Confused in Life. Give Kim 3 minutes to help you find direction. Please check out Kim Tran's YouTube channel and subscribe. Let me know if you can hear the audio. If you can't, we'll fire the audio guy, which is me, by the way.
Currently in your 20s and feeling lost and you're not sure what you should be doing with life or where you're going in life, then let me tell you. We have this thing which I consider our inner GPS, and what that is our emotion. Sometimes our emotions are kind of forgotten and kind of pushed to the side, and people don't realize how important and how much you can really get from your emotions. So if you're in your 20s, think of somebody that you are recently jealous of. I'm sure there's someone, okay? So don't you be sitting here telling me that there's nobody that you're jealous of. Think of that person you're jealous of and ask yourself, what am I jealous of about that person? That right there is the first indicator of maybe something you should work towards. Jealousy is basically your emotions telling you that you want whatever that person has, but you deem that you can't have it or that you don't have it. A lot of times what happens is that we tend to project our jealousy, our envy, our negative emotions onto that person by sabotaging them or doing things to hurt them. But in fact, jealousy could be such an empowering emotion if we use it properly. So if we use it as a way to inspire us into leveling up in a direction as to where we should take our life, then isn't jealousy an amazing thing? Because jealousy is basically your brain telling you that I want that, but you don't have that at the moment. So then I ask myself, if that's the case, where's the gap and what steps do I need to take to be able to fill that gap so that I can achieve that or have that thing? So if it's a big house, a nice car, a business, or whatever it may be, I look and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of jealous of that person that they have that, right? But I know that I can achieve and do whatever I want because this is my life. It's just a matter of, do I want it enough or not? So I ask myself, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I want, or this is where I want to go. And what steps do I need to take in my life to be able to get there? And I ask myself, is this something that I'm willing to do? Even if it takes 10 years, 5 years, however long it takes, is this something that I'm willing to commit to? And if it's something that I'm willing to commit to, then I go ahead and do it. But if not, we need to learn to be content with where we're at and just say, you know what? I know I could be there. I know I could have that, but I don't want to. This is too much work for me. So I'm going to learn to appreciate and love the life that I have right now. Because what is the point of us sitting here and projecting our jealousy and envy if you're not willing to change nothing in your life? I'm sorry, but what you're not changing, you're choosing. So therefore, you need to be content with what you choose. If not, you're going to drive yourself in a crazy frenzy, just being envious of everyone that you feel has something that you don't have. And that is no way to live your life. And that's not going to lead you to long-term happiness. If you're in your 20s and you're feeling a little lost and you don't know what your next step should be, this is how I did it. I used to work at McDonald's as a manager in school for accounting, but then I always saw the other girls being self-employed, doing things for themselves, having their own business. And that's always been something that I wanted to do. So when I saw other people doing that, I was like, I want that. And here I am years later with my own business. So this is coming from somebody that's been there. I recently turned 29, and that's how I lived my 20s. And if I'm going to be real with you, I'm excited for my 30s. So if this could help you in any way, shape, or form, good luck.
Thank you, Kim. Thoughts on this video, by the way?
For me, it felt like
Yes.
it felt like I was watching a younger version of me. That was crazy. It feels like a lifetime ago since I made that video, to be honest with you. It was cute. I was like, "Oh my god, Kim, this you're so cute. Your eyebrows though, like, let's work on those." But sorry.
I really liked it, and I wanted to
Thank
show it
you.
off here as well.
I love
Kim,
it. Thank you.
you're very welcome. Before we wrap this show up in 5 minutes, for those people that are watching live stream or on audio later, and they're thinking of starting up their own business or being an entrepreneur, what advice would you give to them from your experience?
Be fearless. Be fearless and don't let other people influence you. Trust what you're doing, and it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. People that succeed most of the time, they failed 5, 6, 7, 20 times before they succeeded, right? Believe in your goals, believe in your mission, believe in what it is that you want to do, and be fearless. And don't be afraid to fail. Take it as a lesson, learn from it, and do better. That's it.
Great advice, and I never use the word failure. I look at no as a temporary setback, and
Absolutely.
and every experience you get is a learning experience.
Exactly. I say it's a lesson. You know what I mean? Like I had, I left my salon for reasons you know, but I didn't think of it as a failure. I didn't think of it as whatever. I thought it was a great lesson. I enjoyed every process of it. I loved every minute of it. Taught me so much. It was a great experience. And this is a great experience too. Thank you again, Chris.
It's the guests that make the show. I'm just the host, and I do prepare questions and write stuff down. But I've now really learned from Eric Smith. Eric Smith, who's the voice of the Toronto Raptors and now the Blue Jays on radio, came on my show 5.5 years ago and
Mhm.
gave me some advice. He said, "Chris, it's okay to write points and notes down, but
Mhm.
don't script the show. I podcast a radio talk show. You make your notes and stuff, but make to your guests, you're listening to them, and also learn to have a natural conversation.
I
And I'm
love it.
sure as a coach too, it makes a better relationship between you and the client, just like with my show with the host and the guests.
Absolutely. It's more natural, more personable. It's just flows better that way. I love my experience on here was great, Chris, and you really make it feel really comfortable and you're a great listener. So, thank you so much for the great experience and I'm so happy that this was my first experience doing a talk show, honestly. It was great.
And you have an open invite to come back on a second time in the future too.
Absolutely, Chris. Just let me know whenever you want me to come back on. I am more than happy to come on here and talk. I love it.
Kim, before we wrap this up,
Mhm.
I'm trying to keep up with dating, and I'll be honest, I
Mm.
haven't dated for a while. I've just been focused on my career. But
Mhm.
can you just tell my audience a little bit about some of these new dating terms like love bombing, ghosting, breadcrumbing, and benching?
So I don't know if these terms are, well, I guess. So they're I'll go through them a little quickly, okay?
Okay.
So love bombing, okay, is quite frankly when, you go in really quick and somebody just showers you with attention, money, all the things that, it makes you really feel like, "Oh my god, this is my person. I am so in love with you." Only people that are planning on being there for a fun time, not a long time, love bomb you. They just want to get what they want to get. They're not planning on staying there for a long time. So they come in hot and heavy, right? Really just give you all the attention and then they ghost you, which is when they just drop off the map and you never hear from them again. And you just wonder what just happened, where'd they go? And that's why they call a ghost. They're dead now. So you don't hear from them anymore. Breadcrumbing is the opposite of love bombing, where they drop little bit of bread here and there for you to kind of like, I'm like, are you a bird? You're not a bird. So we don't like breadcrumbs, okay? So it's like just dropping a little bit of food here and there just to just keep you interested, but not fully committed. And benching is more so I actually am not really too familiar with that, but I would say that it's basically putting you to the side and then coming back to you later down the road when they're ready to like commit to you or be with you or whatever it may be, right? Still playing the field. It's an interesting world, eh?
One of the original ones was catfishing as well.
Oh, catfishing. We love catfishing. Catfishing is when, let's say, Chris, you go online and you use my photos as your person and you promote based on that. And you say, this is how I look. And then when you go and you meet people in real life, you're like, you're not her. You
Nope.
don't look like her. That's catfishing.
It's happened
Scary.
to me. It happened to me 10 years ago.
Oh my. There's a whole show on Netflix about it, Chris. It happens quite often. People, um, honestly, again, like I said, we need to just love ourselves so you can feel comfortable putting yourself
Yep.
online like that. Like, what are you doing catfishing? You're gonna have to meet this person in real life. You want that person to like you, not somebody else, right? Like, love yourself. It's okay. There's somebody out there for everybody. I believe it.
Kim, I haven't dated in a while. What advice would you give to somebody that's been out of the dating world for a while?
Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been a minute for me too, which is, I think everybody's like, really? Yeah. But my advice would be to take it slow, really get to know that person. Don't rush anything, and find somebody that is willing to work on your timeline, work with your schedule, and find somebody that you're willing to work with their timeline and work with their schedule. Because dating is hard, getting to know somebody is hard. Everybody has their own habits, their routines. It's about finding the person that's willing to compromise with you and somebody that you're willing to compromise with, right? And to just truly learn each other and be friends, somebody that you can be friends with and slowly get to know each other. I think that's what's important.
I think that's the best way to start.
I think so too. Healthy dating, Chris. We love that.
Def- Definitely. Thank you so much, Kim, for doing that. And I do this with all my guests when we wrap up. I was going to reward it. I was going to be fun facts about Kim Tran.
Hmm.
What's one fun fact about yourself? And do you have a question to ask the host CDP as we wrap this up?
Fun facts about me. Well, I have a dog and a cat. My dog's name is Birkin and my cat's name is Chanel, based off of the luxury brand purses. If anybody knows, they know. And I always joke around with people. I'm like, I have a Birkin at home. She just barks and poops and pees, but I have a Birkin at home. And everyone just laughs. It's a running joke. And I always say I'm manifesting my own Birkin bag whenever I say, Birkin, come here, baby. So one day I'll have my Birkin bag through my dog, manifesting my dog. Yeah, it's my fun fact. And a question, I can't really think of anything at the top of my head right now. So, um,
Can save it for next time you come on.
can we do that? I'll make sure I prepare a question the next time for sure.
Definitely, and I have two other shows, but one other show is about the Toronto Argonauts, and I'm not sure you're a big sports fan, but I do a monthly entertainment show with my co-host Marlene Sharp, who's out in LA. We do a show once a month called the Small Talk Podcast, and
Oh,
we
I love
get people
that.
from different professions on.
Yeah,
And I would love to have you come on the Small Talk Podcast with me
absolutely.
and Marlene, possibly maybe at the end of October or in November.
Absolutely. Just we'll talk, we'll message, you know what I mean? And let's make it happen. I would love it. I would love to come back on.
Absolutely, and absolutely, and you and Marlene would get along so well, and I've learned to be diverse on here. I have my own solo show like this, then I have a football show with a co-host who's half my age, but we work well together, and
That's
then I
fun.
have one with Marlene who's out in LA. She's in the cartoon animation industry as
Oh, I
well.
love that. That's cool. That's awesome.
And I gotta plug our show for tomorrow night, the Small Talk Podcast tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. We have a guest called, her name's Tracy Ullman. She's a documentary director, producer, and a writer based out of Chicago, Illinois. She's really well known. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Tracy Ullman will be on the Small Talk Podcast with Marlene Sharp and myself. A little plug here.
As you should, Chris. I love it. Well, I guess it's probably time for us to wrap it up, but
Yep,
for your
yep.
last question there, where the audience can follow social media. So TikTok is probably my biggest one. It's at Becoming Kim Tran. And you can, if you would like to learn more about the coaching services, you can either DM me right on TikTok if you have it. If not, feel free to visit my website, www.kimtranofficial.com. You can contact me through the contact us section, or book a free consultation with me and we can talk one-on-one there too if you prefer that. Either way, whatever, it all works.
Do you have an email number or a 1-800 number people can call you or email
I
you?
don't have an email number. I have an email. It's just
Okay.
it's just kim@kimtranofficial.com. But for the quickest and fastest way to contact me would probably be, like I said, through the website or TikTok, because I'm on there quite often, either scrolling or
And then
posting.
same here, and that's how we met
Yeah,
on TikTok.
I'm always on there, so I won't miss you. So,
Well, Kim, I want to say thank you so much for giving us over an hour tonight. I apologize for keeping you over 45 minutes.
oh, it's okay.
I want to say thank you so much. I really enjoyed speaking with you, and as always, it was a pleasure. I learned from you, and continued success in your coaching career. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be one of your clients as well.
I would love that, Chris. I feel like we'd have our sessions would be over an hour long. I think our sessions would be like just talking about everything. I feel, but I would love
I
to
would
have your
agree.
time. Yeah. Well, thank you for having me, Chris. It was really nice to
Well,
have this.
and give me a little bit of time tonight, Kim, and I'll send you the full video, the audio, and I will edit the video into 30-second clips, and I will tag you on TikTok and on Instagram if you'd like to share this clips of this show as well, because everybody's attention spans nowadays are getting shorter and shorter.
Yes, as we spoke about, I would love that. Well, thank you, Chris. And thank you for everybody watching the show. And yeah, and let me know. I would love to come back on here again. It was a great time.
Absolutely. Or the Small
Absolutely. Yeah.
Talk podcast in the end of October. Hello. Okay, we'll make it work. Kim, thank you so much. Continued success, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Chris. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kim. All right, everyone, that wraps up season 11, episode 47, overall 597 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. Again, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com. For the newest selection of new and vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210 and tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. And as we wrap up the show, everybody, as always, Barry Cullen Chevrolet, who's one of my sponsors, right now, check out a 2025 Trax LT, finance from 0.99% for 60 months, plus receive a Costco wholesale gift card of $1,200 for eligible Costco executive members, $1,000 card for non-executive members. More details at barrycullen.com, or again, visit the dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. And as we wrap up this show, guys, you can follow Kim on the social media platforms. Her website is kimtranofficial.com. She's also on Instagram, Becoming Kim Tran, and she's also on Threads, Becoming Kim Tran. And you can follow Kim on TikTok, which is how I met her, at Becoming Kim Tran on TikTok. And again, check out her work on TikTok and her YouTube channel, Kim Tran on YouTube. Hit the subscribe, like, and share notification as well. And as we wrap up the show, I'm excited to announce the next Small Talk podcast, season 3, episode 9, with co-host Chris Palme, myself, and Marlene Sharp, returns tomorrow night, Tuesday, September 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 on the West Coast, with special guest Tracy Allman. She's a documentary producer, director, writer, based out of Chicago, Illinois. So check out the Small Talk podcast, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 on the West Coast. Again, it's available on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, and Instagram. And the Small Talk podcast is available on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. Speaking of the Toronto Argonauts, they're back in action on Saturday, October 4th, 3 p.m. for Buffalo Bills Day at BMO Field. Doug Flutie and Jim Kelly will be there, and the first 7,500 fans will get a Doug Flutie commemorative Toronto Argonauts Buffalo Bills t-shirt as well. And the Argos are 5-10, and they're on Hamilton, the Tiger Cats, or QED Rebels, who are coming off a 40-3 loss to Winnipeg, and they're not going to be very happy. And Hamilton is 9-6, Toronto's 5-10. The Argonauts basically need to win their last 3 games and get Winnipeg and BC to lose some football games. So the Argos are pretty well at the stage where even if they win their last 3 to go to 8-10, they still might not get in. And they've had too many tough, disappointing, close losses this year. So hopefully they can ride the ship and finish their regular season and season final home game this Saturday at BMO Field with a win over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And you can get tickets at CA or watch the game on TSN or listen to it on radio, TSN 1050 with Mike Hogan and Ben Grant, the radio voices of the Toronto Argonauts, or the Tiger Cats audio network with Rick Zamperin and Simone Lawrence with the Hamilton call of this game as well. And if you're looking for Toronto Argonauts season tickets in 2026, you can contact Toronto Argonauts account coordinator Jada Christian at 416-815-6139, or you can email Jada Christian at jada.christian@mlse.com. And as we wrap up the show, everybody, you can, if you want a personalized video message from yours truly, check me out on cameo.com, type in Chris Pame. I do happy birthday wishes, happy anniversary, pep talks. If you want to talk to me about my media career, my talk shows, or some of my favorite interviews, go to cameo.com, type in Chris Pame, and book your Cameo today. And as we wrap up this show, as always, if you're in the Cambridge, Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph area and you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0, or visit their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the pets that are up for adoption, their profiles are on cambridgehumanesociety.org. And also in the next month or two, their 2026 Cambridge District Humane Society calendars will be out. I will be selling them again. They will be priced at $10, and the money goes to the programs at the Cambridge District Humane Society. And one of the great dogs that's down there right now, there are a lot of great dogs down there, is Pebbles. Please check out Pebbles' profile on cambridgehumanesociety.org. Been there for a while. It's a fun-loving dog, and I really wish I could adopt her. She's sort of like the dog from the Little Rascals TV show back in the 40s and 50s. I guess like Petey. She looks like Petey, and Pebbles is great. And Chico and Apollo and Mocha. So yeah, check out the pets that are up for adoption at cambridgehumanesociety.org. And every Wednesday they do a pet emergency fund for the Cambridge District Humane Society. For those people living in the Cambridge area who are struggling financially, high cost of pet food. So if you have dog food, cat food, or pet food that you're not using, you can bring it into the shelter. They're located right across from the Cambridge Center Mall at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge. And they have an Amazon wish list on their website as well. And they're always looking for dog food, cat litter, paper towels, garbage bags, whatever you can donate. Please consider helping out the Cambridge District Humane Society. Executive Director Michelle Glatley and their entire staff do a wonderful job looking after homeless animals in their community and making sure they get adopted into good homes with good families as well. So again, check out the Cambridge and District Humane Society. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show again is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram. You can check out my website and my media work on my beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. My website again, beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. You can follow me on TikTok. I am a content creator there at Chris Pame. And check out my latest content as well. And I want to thank you to over my 1,000 followers on TikTok. So make sure you look for me on TikTok at Chris Pame, hit the follow, and share some of my content as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars, podcasting, live streaming, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans like I used to be on. Now they have paid professional plan. They have basic free plans, paid professional plans like I have. And if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, go to StreamYard.com and contact our sales department for business pricing as well. And yours truly has been with StreamYard now for 4.5 years. Finally, we're going to wrap this show up live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. The audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, Tuned In, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And I want to say thank you to my audience. I now have 55, that's right, 55 countries around the world listening to Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show through these audio platforms. So thank you for subscribing and thank you for listening. And it's just amazing. Finally, you can email the show Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show at cpame19@gmail.com. Any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you'd like to contribute and support my YouTube channel and my media work and my talk show and my freelance media work, you can do so at PayPal. Chris Pame on PayPal, cpame19@gmail.com if you'd like to support my talk shows, my 3 talk shows, and my media work on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to doing some more, hopefully, media coverage of the Toronto Argonauts and Hamilton Tiger Cats this Saturday at BMO Field. Fingers crossed. And I've also put in for a CFL Grey Cup media pass as well for the Grey Cup this year, which is Sunday, November 16th at Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg. So fingers crossed there as well. Finally, you can follow me on these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, X, Threads, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere except that. I'm also on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19. And also make sure you subscribe, like, and share to my YouTube channel, Chris Pame Live with CDP Talk Show on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and all my viewers on there as well. And that wraps up our show. I want to say thank you so much again to our special guest tonight, Kim Tran. She is a self-love and manifestation coach there as well. So thank you to Kim Tran for coming on, and looking forward to connecting with my co-host of the Small Talk podcast, Marlene Sharp, tomorrow for another episode at 8 o'clock with Tracy Ullman. So make sure you turn into the next Small Talk podcast. And the next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show will be this Wednesday, October 1st, to my special guest, stand-up comedian Diane Callis as well. I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the 2 Monday night football games. And by the way, fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. Eagles won 31-25 yesterday. It wasn't pretty. The Eagles dominated the first half, up 24-6, and they had to hang on to win 31-25. But the Birds are 4-0. And that's the main thing. And next week, the Eagles are back at home at the Link at 1 o'clock Sunday, October 5th, against Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. And that's going to be another tough opponent for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So enjoy the Monday night games, and Major League Baseball playoffs start tomorrow. And the Detroit Tigers are taking on the Cleveland Guardians in the wild card series. Best of 3. All 3 games are at Progressive Field. Tarek Skudrow will take them out for the Tigers. I'm not sure who's taking them out for the Guardians, but Tigers have lost 10 out of the last 12 games. They come into this wild card playoff spot as the number 6 seed, and we'll see what happens there as well. Anyways, thank you to Kim Tran, and thank you to everyone watching this live stream or listening to it on my audio platforms. And again, a special thank you to my sponsor and advertiser, Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership here in Guelph. So if you're looking for a new vehicle or used vehicle, please check out Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership, again at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you here tomorrow night for the Small Talk podcast with Marlene Sharp and myself and special guest Tracy Ullman.